Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Science at Home. I'm Fatin, your resident social distancing scientist from Penang. Today is our last episode of our live Science at Home for PPST program, Program Penggalakan Sains dan Teknologi by our Majlis Pendidikan Negeri Pulau Pinang. If you are not here during this whole episode, you are here for the first time. PPST, and during the PPST program, we have our PPST program participants, and then these participants will get the kit, a kit with all the materials for the experiment that we are making today, 8 experiments altogether, and this kit has been sent to them. So along with me today, they are going to follow all my steps, and then they will do the experiment at home with the kit. So if you don't have the kit and you are not the participant for PPST program, you can also get the kit yourself. You can go to our TechDome, you can go to TechDome Penang's Facebook account. You can DM for more information. And to order the kit, to get the kit for yourself, you can go to, you can email to education@techdomepenang.org. You can see that in our description after this. And then we can send the kit right to your doorstep. And yeah, don't worry because we are not going live after this, because you can always watch this episode and the previous episode in our Science at Home playlist. So okay, let's move on to what we are making today. So today we are making a scribbling bot. Have you heard about scribbling bot before? And what is a scribbling bot? So the robot that we are making today is a very simple robot. Not like the sophisticated robot, like the human-like robot, not that one. This is a simple robot that is easy for you to do. And the materials that you are going to use today are the simple materials. So a little bit introduction about the robot, because I believe most of you are interested about robot. So everyone interested about robot, right? The word robot actually comes from a Slavic language or a Slavic word, which is robota. The word is called robota. Okay, so the word robota means forced labor. What is a forced labor? Forced labor is the people that work to do something lah. Buruh kasar, buruh suruhan macam tu. Because back then, robot, not back then lah, even until now, robot is invented to help people or to do work, to help humans to do work. So that is why it comes from a word called forced labor. So let's move on. So yeah, because as I said just now, you might be interested in robot. So after this, when you go to university, you go to college, if you are interested in robot, you can study about robotic lah. Robotic is the study about robots and all that, machines and all that. So you can when you go to university, you can take courses like robotic or engineering, which you will learn about robots. So yeah, as I say, back then robots are invented to do work, and then when robots are first invented, they are just like an advanced machine. So as you know, we have simple machine, Simple machine like the hammer and all, hammer, knife, they are all simple machine. So it goes a bit advanced, become the machines like the saw machine, sawing machine, the sewing machine, and then the machine becomes more advanced, in which it becomes like a robot lah. So this robot are a more advanced machine, and sometimes they are controlled by computer. Robot adalah mesin yang lebih canggih dan kadang-kadang dia dikawal oleh komputer. So like the robot arm, so robot arm is also a type of robot lah, is a more advanced machine. It is a robot, and we also have this robot arm in Tekdon Penang. So if you would like to see this robot arm, you can come to Tekdon Penang. You can even control the robot yourself in Tekdon Penang. So after COVID-19 is getting better, then you can come to Tekdon Penang when we are open. Then you can learn more about robot. You can play the robot yourself, and you can see what the robot can do. And nowadays we have a more advanced robot like the humanoid and android robot. This kind of robot, they are invented to be as human as possible. Means that as advanced as possible lah. It can imitate what human can do, but still have some limit lah. So like the advanced robot here, it looks exactly like human, but they are still robot. And sometimes this advanced robot uses the skin, the type of materials that is like your human skin, to make their skin so that they look more like a human. Okay, let's move on. I believe you are excited for the experiment lah. You don't want to listen to too much explanation yet. Okay, so now let's move on to our experiment. I believe you are ready with all the materials inside the box. So what we need for this experiment are, a cup, a plastic cup. This cup is the cup that we used during our previous episode, the first episode, and also remember the traveling colors. This plastic cup, we are going to use this plastic cup. Okay. Apart from that, we are going to use the marker pen and not marker pen, the colored pen, like magic macam tu kan. This colored pen, we need this colored pen, all 4 of them. We will receive 4, so we will use all 4 of them. So plastic cup and then colored pen. Then after that, we will need our battery. We will use our battery. Okay, battery. And then we will need some clay, plasticine, Play-Doh, whatever you want to call. We will use the Play-Doh. You can also use your Play-Doh that you made previously. And then after that, we will need a HOMOPOLAR. This one here with wire, connected with wire already. This one, this is a HOMOPOLAR. This one, this one, HOMOPOLAR. Okay. And then after that, we will need a masking tape. Okay, and then you will need the cellophane tape. If your cellophane tape is finished already, then you can also use the masking tape. I will use cellophane tape as well today. Then after that, you will need the scissors to cut the tape. And then last but not least, we will need A4 paper. So you are given 3 pieces of A4 paper. We are going to use one first. After that, you can use the rest. Okay. So these are what we need today. Okay. I hope you are ready with all the materials. They are all simple materials. If you are wondering what you are going to do with the goggly eyes, the cloths, the pin, the pads, that one are the decorations. So after this, I will let you know how you can use it. Okay, so let's move on to our experiment. I hope you are ready. Everyone's ready for the experiment. So, in order for us to make our scribbling board, what we need are the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to use our plastic cup. use our plastic cup. But before that, I will move all my things aside first so that it will not block my way. Okay. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to take our plastic cup. Take your plastic cup. Okay, you might have it like this. Then you need to invert your plastic cup. Terbalikkan plastic cup tu. So that the mouth is facing the down part here. The mouth is at the bottom here. And the top part is up here lah. So, jadi terbalikkan cawan plastik tu, pastikan mulut cawan plastik tu ada kat bawah. Bahagian yang terbuka tu ada dekat bawah. Pastikan macam tu. So, it will look like this lah. It will look like this, yeah. So, make sure your cup is like this. The position is like this. And then after that, we are going to take the coloured pen. We are going to take the coloured pen to the plastic cup. We are going to take the coloured pen to the plastic cup. How we are going to do it is, first you take your tape first, cut your tape first. I'm going to use my cellophane tape now. I'm going to use my cellophane tape. And then I stick on the pen first. Stick them on the pen. Stick them on the pen first. And then after that, stick on the cup. How you gonna stick this is, imagine your cup is rectangle, so it has 4 edges. So stick your coloured pen at each edges, at each edge. So it will look like this. It will look like this. Your pen will look like this. So stick all of your 4 pen at each edge of the cup. So it becomes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you will have four pens all together like this. So now your cup can stand with the coloured pen. Your cup can now stand with the coloured pen like this. As you can see in front of me, it will look like this. You can continue taping your coloured pen to your plastic cup. Okay, take your coloured pen to your plastic cup so that it become like this. One at each edges. Dia akan jadi 4. Okay. Okay, yeah. After that, after you have got this. Okay, now we will go to the next step. I hope you can follow, yeah. After that, we will take our HOMOPOLAR. This is the HOMOPOLAR, yeah. This is the HOMOPOLAR. Take your HOMOPOLAR, and now we are going to take the HOMOPOLAR beside the cup and in between the 2 pens. Like the video, yeah, as you can see, we are going to tape it beside the cup and in between the 2 pens. Between the 2 pens. At any side lah, any side. Dalam mana pun tak apa, asalkan dia dekat. So tape them together so that it will stick together well. If you need more than 1 tape, now use the masking tape, yeah. Use the masking tape now. Use the masking tape to tape your HOMOPOLAR. You can use as many tape as possible to ensure that your HOMOPOLAR stick well to your cup. Okay. I hope you can follow that. Very easy. Just stick the HOMOPOLAR to the cup. You can use as much tape as you want to make sure that it sticks well. Okay. So after that, we are going to stick our battery. We are going to stick our battery on top of the cup. We are going to stick our battery on top of our cup. Just use the masking tape. You can use the masking tape on the battery first, and then put the battery, place the battery on top of the cup. On top of the cup like this, yeah. On top of the cup. So it become like this Put the battery on top of the cup and then tape it. tape it together. So yeah, it become like that. So like this, yeah. Got HOMOPOLAR and then also got the battery. Okay. Okay. And then after that, yeah. So you can, yeah, I hope you can follow the step, put the battery and then tape it together. Okay. Now, I hope you are done with that. Let's go to our next step. So for our next step, we are going to put some clay. Take your clay, and then make it flat a bit, and then just wrap it around your HOMOPOLAR. The stick on top of the HOMOPOLAR, right? There is a stick on top of the HOMOPOLAR, and then put your clay on top of the stick of the HOMOPOLAR. Yeah, just wrap it around like that. Wrap the HOMOPOLAR, the stick on the HOMOPOLAR with the clay. This wrap the stick on the HOMOPOLAR with the clay. Okay, this is a very important step. Yeah, this step is very important, so you need to do this one and cannot miss this step. Why this step is important, I will let you know after this. So this clay step is very important. Yeah, I will reveal why it is important after this. Okay, so let's go to the next step. We are actually approaching the final step already of making our scribbling box. And in this step, I would like to remind you to be careful. Please be careful because we are going to connect the wire here, the wire on our HOMOPOLAR. We are going to connect to the battery. Which means we are now connecting the circuit. Remember in the dancing wire episode, we talked a lot about circuit. If you forget about that, you can watch in the previous episode, dancing wire. So yeah, we are going to connect the wire to the battery. Means that we are completing the circuit. We are connecting the circuit. When a circuit is completed or connected, there are electric current flowing. So now you have to be careful not to get electrocuted. Don't get yourself electric shock because there are electric current flowing here. So please be careful with that when handling all these things. So yeah, what we are going to do now is we are going to connect the wire. So you can take your masking tape. And tape on the battery. So remember we have red and also black wire. Connect the red wire to the positive side of the battery, the one with dots on it. That one connect to the red wire. So connect the red wire to the positive side of the battery. Okay, and then after that, connect the black wire to the flat side of the battery, the negative side of the battery. Connect the black wire to the negative side of the battery, the flat side of the battery. Okay, connect them together. Connect them together. Yeah. So your scribbling board might be a bit not so stable. So after this, you can use your gun, your glue gun, hot glue gun, to put the hot glue gun to this so that it sticks better. Now we just use tape because it is easier. After this, if you feel that it is not so stable, you can use the hot glue gun. Okay, so you need to stick your red wire to the positive side of the battery and then put the black wire to the negative side of the battery, the flat side of the battery. And one more thing, if you feel that the tape is not sticky enough to stick the wire, you can also use the clay to stick them together. And now, we are now done with our scribbling box. What we are going to do with it, maybe you get to see your scribbling board shaking or vibrating already, right? It's because the circuit is connected, so they are activated already lah. They can move already. Okay. So we have take the wire just now. So we are done. To test this, you need to open the cap of the colored pen. Take off the cap of the colored pen. This is to test, yeah. We are going to test it now. And then take your A4 paper. Put in front of you. Your A4 paper, put in front of you. And then now, make sure that the circuit is connected. Make sure that the wires stick well to the battery, and then got vibration on the hobo motor. Make sure that is on. Okay, and then after that, you will get to see your robot scribble. It will move around. Okay. If it is not sticky and it is not stable enough, you can move it around. Okay. As you can see in the video, we also have this robot scribbling on the paper. Okay, so it will become like that lah. Okay. So you can test that yourself. So this is the model of our scribbling board lah. So your robot should be able to scribble like that. If not, then I will let you know what's happening to your robot. If your robot is not moving, I will let you know after this. Okay. So what's happening here? In this experiment, remember our dancing wire. It is an example of a simple motor. Remember in the dancing wire episode, I mentioned that the dancing wire is also an example of a simple motor, and it is called a homopolar motor. Homopolar motor. So this robot, our robot today is also using a motor, which is the hobo motor, and our robot today is powered by a battery. The same goes to the dancing wire. It is also using a battery. So this robot today is using a battery, and it consists of a more complicated motor. So the homopolar motor is just a simple motor, but this one is a more complicated motor. Okay, but don't be confused with the motorcycle. Don't be confused with the motorcycle. This motorcycle is not using a motor. Even though it is called a motor, it is not using a motor. It is using an engine. As you know, a motor will have an engine. At the side dekat tepi got engine, right? So motorcycle uses an engine. An engine need fuel like petrol or minyak. Engine need petrol or minyak to move. But motor, an electric motor like this, is just using electric current for it to move. It does not need fuel or petrol. So like today, we are not using fuel or what, right? Because it just needs electric current. Okay. The function of motor is generally, so like the hobo motor here, their function is generally to convert electrical energy into mechanical energy. It is used to convert electrical energy into mechanical energy, and then it is also, in this case today, it is also used to convert the energy into kinetic energy. And as I have mentioned before, kinetic energy is the energy that is produced when something is moving, or it is also known as moving energy lah. So when something is moving, like when we are running, that is called a kinetic energy. The energy produced is called the kinetic energy, the moving energy. Okay. So that is how our scribbling boards move. It's because of the energy powered by the battery, and then got motor, and then it is converted from mechanical energy, electrical energy, mechanical energy, then kinetic energy. So when you go to during your your maybe primary school or secondary school later, you will study science or physics. And then you might come across the word AC and DC motor. AC and DC motor. AC motor, AC motor, AC. And then another one is DC, DC motor. What are they? What are these? What are these motor are all about? So this motor, these two types of motor, is actually used, generally to convert electrical energy to mechanical energy. But they are actually different, and even the name is different, AC and DC. They are also different in terms of the power source that it uses. For AC motor, the power source used is called alternating current. Alternating current, which means the electric current can go back and forth. The current flow can go back and forth. Boleh ulang alik. And it can also be reversed means that it can be reversed. Ulang alik, arus ulang alik. Okay. So AC current, alternating current is called ulang alik, arus ulang alik. So that is AC current, AC motor. And then what about DC motor? So DC motor is a direct current. The power source uses is direct current, means that the electric current, the current flow, is flowing in one direction only. It flows in one direction only. It cannot go back. It cannot reverse. It goes in one way. And it is also known as arus terus, motor arus terus, DC motor, direct current, motor arus terus. Okay, and then for AC motor, we also have an example such as the electric generator. So electric generator is an example of AC motor. And then for DC motor, the example of DC motor is the battery. So the battery that we use now is a DC current type. Okay. The motor that we use today, is called a hobo motor. Yeah. It is a hobo motor. It is an example of electric motor. And it is also connected to a battery, okay, which is a DC type of motor. Okay, so apart from the hobo motor and the battery, that we use today, we also have clay. And I also mentioned just now, the clay is important in this experiment. Why the clay is important in this experiment is because, why the clay is important? So the clay is important in this experiment is because the clay helps to unbalance the motor, unbalance this whole thing, including especially the hobo motor. That's why we put on the hobo motor. It unbalance. You make it not balance, unbalance. So there is balance. So balance means stabil, stable. So it is balance. And then got unbalance. Unbalance means that it is not stable, so it will move in a different way. Okay. So it is just a small step, but it is very important because if we didn't put the clay, the motor will be balanced. Balanced. So when the motor is balanced, the robot will not scribble around. It will just move in one place. The robot will just move in one place when it is stable. But after we put the clay, the robot will move around, will scribble around because the motor is unbalanced. The motor is unbalanced. So it needs to have the clay to unbalance the motor. So that is the most important part here. It's to unbalance the motor. That is why we need the clay. So now you know lah. Because just now I say to you that I want to explain to you why if your robot does not move or your robot does not scribble around, what's happening. So one reason why your robot is not scribbling around is because the position of the clay is not correct. So if the position of the clay is stable, it is stable, means that the motor is stable, so it will move in one place, so your robot will not scribble around. So you need to remove and put the clay again, in different position so that the robot can scribble around. So that is when your robot does not scribble around, does not move around like that. But if your robot does not move at all, no vibration produced, not moving at all, it's because your wire is not connected properly to your battery. So when your wire is not connected properly to the battery, you need to stick them better lah. Needs to stick them properly. Need to take out again and then put them properly. Paste the wire properly to the battery so that the circuit can be connected and the robot can move. Okay. So yes, that is the troubleshoot if your robot cannot move. So yeah, now let's have a quick recap on what we have done and what we have learned today. So in this experiment, we are making a simple robot, the scribbling board today. It's a simple robot, and then we also use a type of electric motor here. We also using a type of electric motor, which is the HOMO motor, and then the power source here is the battery here, and it is a DC type of motor. And we also learned about AC type of motor, in which the electric current can go back and forth, arus ulang alik. So for DC is arus terus, can go in one way. Okay, so yeah, I hope you have learned something from this episode. If you would like to purchase our Science at Home education kit with the 8 experiments inside it, you can check that out. You can get more information about it you can DM to us in our Facebook account or our Instagram account, and you can email to us at education@technopenang if you want to purchase the kit. And I would also want to thank you all the BPST programs participants for their times for all these 8 weeks of doing all this experiment with us, and we also have Science at Home after this. Even though after this we are not going live, but we are going to have our normal episode of Science at Home. So next week, during the same time, at the same time, 11 o'clock in the morning, next week we will have a new experiment with a new lesson to learn. So please don't forget to catch that episode next week. And after that, we will always continue with a new episode, a new experiment, and new lesson to learn. Okay, don't forget to like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And if there is no question from the audience, I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.